Around the eyes, exactly. So I'm going to show you some tips for shading in eyes. So I'm going to look here, kind of the upper crease of the eye. You can see is a little bit darker. So this is not like coloring in a coloring book. Not everything's going to be the same color of orange. There's going to be some areas that are lighter and darker. So what I'm doing is just really lightly applying pressure in these areas to add some value and shading from light to dark. So maybe where the eye crease is, the eyelid is darker, so you're applying a little bit more pressure. But notice I'm not just outlining. I'm outlining and then blending out that color. So maybe the eyebrow also is an area that kind of has some more shading and value to it. What's another area of the face that you see in this photo of Grant that has some more shading? Yeah, Sarah. The neck, exactly. Our chins naturally cast a shadow, I don't know if you can see that, onto our necks. So again, I'm not just outlining or coloring in one solid color, but lightly shading from a dark value into a lighter value. So using small pencil strokes and blending in really carefully from dark to light. This is what we're going to be doing today once you're on your final steps of your drawing. Another thing to consider when you're shading, your nose. Our nose is actually an area that is off of our face. So typically our nose is a white area, so you're not going to just color in your whole nose. That would make it look really flat because light reflects off of our nose. There will be a shadow cast around kind of your nostrils. So this might be a darker area. Again, not just outlining, but outlining, maybe blending out and up the bridge of your nose a little bit. Under the nose, under the nostrils. This nostril might be one of the darker parts. Usually only one side of our nose gets shading, but here his face is kind of on an angle. So once you've shaded, maybe along your hairline too, blending in, shading, then you can move on to the grading rubric. So the grading rubric basically breaks this project down into several parts. So you can see here, it'll be in your folder. It says drawing. This is our grid self-portrait drawing. So you're going to write grid self-portrait. You can see there's several categories here: requirements, craftsmanship, creativity, and classwork. The requirements, you're basically grading yourself. Advanced, which means you went above and beyond. Proficient, which means you met all of the requirements. Basic, which means you did it, you did what you had to do, but not really in like an outstanding way. And then below basic, meaning you did it, but the very bare minimum, or not at all. So requirements are up here on this blue piece of paper. So when you're grading yourself, look up here, check. Were you working from a photograph? Did you grade out the photograph with lines and number them? And this one has a star next to it because this is the most important. This is what we're really looking for, that you understood in this project, that you drew from your photo with accuracy in the size, shape, and placement. So look back at your photo of yourself to your drawing. Did you capture that realistically with proper proportions? And also showing, did you have two ideas about yourself in the background area of your drawing? So grade yourself on those things. Craftsmanship would be kind of like your coloring ability. So you can see here, this would be an example of a pretty below basic or basic coloring skill. It's outside of the lines, it's messy, there's a lot of white areas. This would probably be a basic to maybe proficient areas, but again, there's a lot of like scribble marks and just kind of white areas. This would be advanced to proficient coloring because you see that gradation from dark to light. So once you finish your project today, you're going to be filling these sections out. It's a grade out of 100. So if it's all advanced, that would be the A range. It might not be 100, but it'd be an A range. And so on and so forth down the line. Then, once you've graded yourself, you're going to move over to this artist statement section. So here you're going to write number 1. It's up on the board if you need to look. Under here, on number 3, it says number 1. What 2 ideas about yourself did you show and how? So you're going to say, oh, I drew snowmen in my background because I love winter. And then the other idea, whatever applies to your project, so right there. And then number 2, how do you think you did? What were your results? So not just, I think I did a good job, but I think I did a good job because. So explain to us why. Or maybe you really struggle with something, and this is your opportunity to say to us, I really had a hard time drawing noses, but overall I worked through it and I met the challenge and I tried to do my best. So this is your opportunity to show myself and Mrs. Gerhardt how you think you did. So you're not grading yourself saying, I really want an A, so I'm going to say I did all advanced. You're more or less saying what you really think you did and reflecting back on your artwork. So once that's done, you're going to take your folder, take out any excess papers that are in it, any past projects, take those out. Your folder, your drawing and your photograph should all go in here, and they'll go up front in the period 6 folder.